Welcome to this magnificent arena in Moscow. It is the rescheduled ISU World Figure Skating Championships for 2011. Remember, originally scheduled for Japan last month, but because of the tragedies there, a late decision to change, and we are happy here on Eurosport to schedule this for you. Obviously, our thoughts are with everyone in Japan, the families who survived and those who are with those of the bereaved. But we are looking forward to what should be terrific championships. We're beginning with the pairs short program. Later on, we'll give you news of a fantastic performance from Patrick Chan in the men's short, but it's the pairs we concentrate on here. Simon Reed alongside Chris Howarth to take you through this. And it is interesting, Chris, that we've got virtually a packed arena here.
Absolutely amazing. I can't remember the last time that I've seen so many people in an arena for a pairs short program. And a super atmosphere as always. Good to see all the big guns competing here. It's been very difficult for the skaters to prepare for this a month later than originally scheduled.
First to go from Canada, Meagan DUHAMEL to Eric Radford. Runners-up in Canadian National Championships. Meagan 25 years of age and Eric 26.
Absolutely beautiful start to the program there. Split triple twist made it look so easy.
Down she goes on the Lutz.
Yes, they really made heavy weather of that, but a very difficult element. You don't very often see side-by-side triple Lutzes performed in a pair short program.
Just about held on.
Really super edge work through that footwork.
Yeah, very, very pleased with themselves, as well they might be. Really got into the program in the second half despite the fall, but you can see casualty there. I understand that he was hit by a flying elbow from Meagan. We didn't spot that earlier on, but considering that and the fall that she had, that was an amazing performance.
I tell you what, he looks really, really dazed, doesn't he? It's a dangerous sport, this. But revenge is sweet. She's going to have to watch it.
Said with feeling.
Oh, dear me.
That is a nasty knock.
Yeah, he did well to keep that going, and the timing was exquisite on that side-by-side spin at the end of the program.
What a way to start our coverage. That's novel.
Yes.
Normally it happens with commentators.
Oh. Split triple twist. And there it is. Whoa. Now that was pretty early on in the program. I can tell you, he did really, really well to keep his concentration.
Just wonderful. Eric Radford together with Meagan DUHAMEL. Just been skating together for a year. Runners-up in Canadian Nationals to Kirsten Towers and Dylan MOSCOVITCH, who are still to come.
There you can see her oscillating a little bit on that throw, but she did well to get her weight over that landing foot and maintain control.
And no wonder she's encouraging in there. So we've had one pair already, Daniel Montalbano and Evgeny Krasnopolsky of Israel. They took 37.43. This will be somewhere in excess of that. Oh, that's not bad at all. 58.83. So they should be pretty happy with that. It's very near their best ever score in the 4 continents earlier this year. Got 59.92. So considering everything, that's fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he did so well. Keep that going.
Into the second group we go now, and this is a young couple from China. Always beware of young couples from China who've dominated pair skating in recent years. This is Zhang Yu and Wang Lei. She's just 18, he's 22, from Harbin province. And now skating out of Beijing, 4th in Chinese nationals. Beautiful, split triple twist. Just a little out of sequence with the Salka. The Toga brother.
Oh, that was fantastic. Throw triple loop. As good as it comes. Oh, not great flight into the flying camel there.
Very, very classy. Their first World Championships for a couple of years. They burst on the scene a couple of years ago and were 16th in the World Championships in LA. Then dropped out. Of course, such competition at home that they're back. Very difficult for me to differentiate between them and the Canadian pair we've seen before.
Yeah, I think these two are going to struggle, certainly on that side-by-side spin. They were looking for levels from the fly into the spin, but he, in particular, didn't get a very good flying position, which is part of the criteria for getting that level, that feature on the spin. Also in the last position, hope we get to see it, where they tucked the free foot in behind on the last part of the spin. The thigh, the top of the thigh of the skating leg's got to be parallel with the ice, and they were a bit high, so I don't think they're going to get a feature on that. And that could be enough to make them struggle, because some of the other elements were absolutely super. Look at this loop, perfect position in the air, and she makes the landing look so easy. No body movement there at all. Very strong in the core.
Only just 18 years of age she is, so they've been around for a couple of years and obviously maturing. Bronze medalists in the Winter Universiade earlier this year.
Yeah, really good position in that death spiral.
And no blood.
No, that's a big plus. Look how low she is there. Absolutely fantastic. Yao, pleased with that. If he's applauding, it's got to be good.
Yeah, the man who largely is responsible for China dominating the pairs competition over the last decade. And double world champions to go later, Qing and Tong. So good for them to be back in the spotlight. All these competitors, of course, thought they were competing last month in the World Championships in Tokyo. Then it looked like we wouldn't have World Championships.
Yeah, it was very close. And you've got to say, when you look at these pictures and you see the stadium full and the skaters out there, congratulations to the organising committee that have literally put this event together in what, 4 weeks. It usually takes about 18 months to 2 years to put a World Championships together, so they absolutely done a remarkable job.
Well, they're used to it. They had the World Championships in 2005, so they had a few shortcuts, but yeah, it is a fantastic performance. So 52.25, and they move into second place behind DUHAMEL and RADFORD, who lead for Canada at the moment. So it's Canada first, China second, and here's another Chinese couple, Dong Huibo and Wu Yiming, another couple who train in Beijing with Bin Yao and Yu Sun, runners-up in the Winter Universiade this year, beating Zhang and Wang. Toe loops. Split, lateral twist.
He was a little late with the catch there. They were motoring into that throw triple loop. It's all a bit rough around the edges, but made it work.
Well, a more mature performance from Dong Huibo and Wu Yiming, who've had a busy year. 7th in Skate Canada, 7th in the Cup of China. Obviously their main aim here is to get up above Zhang and Wang. Shortly we'll find out if they have done.
Well, it was certainly a good skate, some great technical elements there, but for me the quality of skating of these two wasn't quite as good on the night. He was certainly not as over his skate as he could have been through the lift. You could see the snow flying up from the front of his skate as he did the mohawk turns through the lifts, and just felt the transitions in the program weren't quite as good, but we'll have to wait and see. Nevertheless, great triple combination, or great triples at the beginning of the program, those side-by-side triple toes. Amazing elevation from these two. Just watch this. Right foot down, plants the toe in. Look how high he gets in particular. Really super, and they were really motoring into that. And you can see he was late with the catch there. It was a bit of a scramble. And then for me, the rest of the program just didn't have the quality that I would imagine they were looking for. She was a little over the front of the skate there on their landing of that triple loop. And here, just watch the skates through these turns. They're very jerky, really rough. And you're going to see other skaters much smoother. Super position there on that back inside death spiral. And synchronization there, you can see just out on the combination spin at the end. Thought they were almost short on that upright position. Didn't quite see that again. They've got to do at least two rotations in any position for it to count.
So the leading marks in the Canadians, 58.83, Zhang and Wang 52.25.
It's going to be nip and tuck. There's not going to be much in it. But what a great start to this pairs event.
Yeah, it's only going to get better later tonight. Two Russians vying for medals. Two Russian pairs. Chinese and the Germans, Savchenko and Solkofi, who are of course favorites. So 49.29, a little disappointing for them, but it means they slot into 3rd place behind Zhang and Wang, and the leaders Meagan, DUHAMEL, Eric, Radford.
This is their new season's best.
The highlights of the first two groups will be going live very shortly, and later on in the second ice resurface we'll show you a fantastic performance from Patrick Chan, a world record breaking performance in the men's short program. That'll be in the next ice resurface, but that's where we are at the moment. And of course later on as well, Stacey Kemp and David King, they should go in around an hour's time. We're going to take a break. You'll be right back with us with live action here from Moscow after this. Welcome back to Moscow. You're bang on time for the start of group number 3. We have Czechs, Russians, French and Bulgarians, but we start with the Czech pair who were 7th in the European Championships in Bern. A youngster to watch here, Klara KADLECOVA, just 16 years of age, and Petr BIDAR, who's 20. KADLECOVA, the youngest competitor in any discipline at these World Championships. Double twist. So triple Salchow, not sure, I think her hand might just have touched the ice. Certainly a long wait before the jump came.
straight away you can see the technical content not really here in this program, just side-by-side double loops there. So what they're doing pretty well. Good entry into the lift.
Got the synchronization back well then. Just lost it. Well, it certainly gave it plenty of verve and attack. It was a fast program. It did lack a little maturity, which we've seen earlier on, but a lot to admire, but just out of juniors, and at times it looked a bit of a junior program.
Yes, there's no doubt about it with the lack of technical content there, just the double loops on the twist and the side-by-side double loops. But something I like about these two is the way they work together. Loved his presentation. He looked really relaxed out there and looked as though he was enjoying himself, and she was beaming all the way through that program, which makes it a joy to watch. And if they can just get the technical side of the program up, then these two have got a good future ahead of them.
Yes, Petr also competing in singles at international level, competed at the World Junior Championships in the men's and pairs events. He's a talented lad.
Yeah, it looks to me as though she's just got to get her confidence going on the jumps. There you can see, well, thinking about putting the hand down, didn't quite touch, but there was a very, very long preparation into that. There's the twist, no problems on that, but only 2 turns. So that will cost them, and good into the lasso lift. It's a nice straight arm. She's getting a good position there, grabbing the foot to get a level up, but still not the technical difficulty that we've seen from previous pairs so far in this competition. A little lower on that, back inside death spiral.
And the main aim for these in the opening 3 groups, they're seeded into 2 sections, the first half and the second half. All the top skaters, the medal contestants, will come in the last 3 groups. Random seeding within each of the sections. But for those in the first 3 sections, first 3 groups, the key thing is to get into the top 16, which means they come back tomorrow for the free program, which you can see live 4:10 tomorrow on British Eurosport, 5:10 Central European time. So 45.10, that's going to take him into 4th place. 45.20. So that's behind the 2 Chinese. And the Canadians who lead, Meagan, DUHAMEL, Eric Radford. But they're pretty pleased with that. Didn't get scarred. Now the first of the Russians, and 2 skaters here you'll know very well, but they've teamed up with each other after terrific success with other partners, Tatiana, Volosozhar and Maxim Trankov. Tatiana 4th in the worlds with Stanislav Morozov in 2007, and Maxim 3rd in the worlds with Maria Mokotova. That was last year in Torino. So unseeded as a pair, but we know of their pedigree, and they're not to be discounted. Volosozhar and Trankov for Russia, national champions. Massive height on the split twist.
Well, that was quite incredible.
And beautiful triple toe loops. Perfect timing.
Difficult entry and exit there on that lasso lift.
Oh, yes. Gets better and better.
She did well to hold that. There was so much height in there.
Oh, yes. Uplifting performance. Music to Carmina Burana, and it had passion, brilliant technique, and it was just a wonderful sight to see the two of them. What a great idea it is for them to team up.
Yeah, somebody had a moment of inspiration, didn't they, to put those two together? When you get a couple of skaters that have got this sort of pedigree and this sort of experience, all the hard work's done. But for me, these two brought out the best of each other, didn't they?
They did. Well, they've both been in the Shake-Up and World Championships, and last year, Maxim got a bronze medal with Maria Mokotova. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be difficult for the judges. They're so early on, really. Just the 8th pair with another 14 to go after this. But surely they're not going to be too far away.
No, they've put themselves in the mix, haven't they, with a performance like that. And there was a lot of excitement and anticipation about these two going into this short program. They've skated well on the practices, but it's one thing skating well in practice. It's a completely different thing putting down a performance like that in an arena like this, where the expectation is so high. And boy, oh boy, did they deliver.
And there is Stanislav Morozov.
Yeah, he must be feeling proud as punch. Still to be part of the team.
I did pretty well with her, but you've done even better.
Yeah, I wonder exactly how he is feeling.
It was fantastic. And what an atmosphere we've got here. It's a sellout, the pairs short program.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? Does it remind you of Artur Dmitriev, just watching these two together with KADLECOVA?
It does.
That same commitment to everything.
And flamboyance.
Yeah, passion, energy, charisma, they got it all.
Well, there's a marker here. I mean, they're going to go shooting into the lead, these two.
Just got out of sync a little bit on the change here, didn't they? She was a little slower into the back sit, I think. You see her working on trying to get that timing back, but apart from that, it was brilliant. That split triple twist at the beginning, I don't think you're going to see one any bigger than that. She was so high, it looked like it was in slow motion.
Yes. They won Russian nationals earlier this year, and they are in sublime form. It's a challenge for the judges. They've got to lift them right up there.
Well, their technical score is going to be good, and the program component score, the presentation score has got to be great too. Look at that.
That is going to be 12 points better, or 11.5 than anything we've seen. It should last for a long way as the leading score. Tatiana, Volosozhar, Maxim, Trankov for Russia. Difficult to follow that, but here are two more here who you may have seen with other partners. Certainly the man Yannick Bonner, who used to skate with Vanessa James, and before that Marilyn Pla, and now has teamed up with Adeline Kanak. French national champions this year. Music from Pink Martini for Adeline Kanak, Yannick Bonner.
That's a shame. Triple Salchows. And you can see a double-footed landing there from Yannick.
On the throw triple loop.
Yeah, she spotted the landing well. Didn't have an awful lot of speed going into that.
and Bonheur, the French national champions. I'm afraid he's always had a little fragility, hasn't he, in his jumping. It's hindered him in the past with his previous two partners, and for me, really, the guts went out of the program after that. Very difficult to follow the Russians who went before them, though.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly that. It's I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that it's a tough job to follow that, such a performance as that. And the energy in the building was just lifted. And these two don't have that charisma, that fight, that flair that the Russians do. And everything seemed to be that little bit flatter for me. And my first impression is how slow it was. Now, that may be a little unfair because of the performance that they were following, but it just needed a little bit more gumption, didn't it?
It did.
There's no doubt these two are technically very good, and he's a strong guy. He's got a wealth of experience there with this team. He's been there time and time again, but we've seen him make mistakes on jumps time and time again as well, and he'll be kicking himself for that double-footed landing on the Salchow.
Reminder to log on to our website, and if you want to email us, we'll be very grateful for that. It's the usual address, skating.eurosport@yahoo.co.uk. skating.eurosport@yahoo.co.uk. Email us, and if we can reply, we certainly will. We've already got one in from Lynn from Dublin, who's criticising us for our coverage of this World Championships. But bear in mind, please, Lynn and other people, that we're doing all we can to fit in these World Championships into our schedule. Remember, we would have given complete uninterrupted coverage if the championships had been held in Tokyo, and for the worst possible reason, they haven't been. They have been rescheduled. We have contracts and commitments to another event, particularly the World Snooker Championships, and we try to schedule this around it as best we can, and we have extensive coverage tonight, and I think you'll find the coverage is expanding as we speak, but we do have contracts and commitments we have to bear in mind. But hope you'll bear with us and enjoy the week with us. 43.92, so 7th place for Kanak and Bonheur. A little disappointing, I'm afraid.
3.922, and this is the new season's best.
Leaders, Volosozhar and Trankov for Russia. And we have one more couple in this group. And they're back in the warm-up area. Competitors getting ready for the competition. So last in this group from Bulgaria, Alexandra Malakova and Lei WANG CHN. Alexandra just 17 years of age, Lei 24. New partnership. Chad's twin brother, Georgi, you probably remember him, competes in the men's skating at the world level. And here's his first taste of World Championships. Music from Pirates of the Caribbean. Difficult start for Alexandra.
Yes, Larry under-rotated on his as well. So you've got to put that behind them. Look forward now.
Ball looks a little edgy, I'm afraid. Understandably. Held on to the throw jump.
Yeah, that was the throw triple toe loop. Just a little bit too much swing going in, makes it hard to stop the rotation at the end. Not a very glamorous entry into that death spiral. Looked very, very close to being short on the rotation on that.
difficult, and you can see their expressions tell a tale. They never really got into the program. Obviously, limited horizons, first time in World Championships, but nerves got the better of them, and even the limited technical difficulty that we should have seen wasn't really there. They didn't really enjoy it.
No, it's a shame for them because they've obviously worked so hard for this, and you don't know how difficult it has been for some of these teams to get ice time to prepare when the competition ends up being a month later than you'd originally planned for. So it's not been easy for any of the teams, but these two finding it particularly difficult. And they didn't have the best of starts, did they, with that side-by-side triple salcho. Rotation's key on the jumps, remember, with this system. And if you look at this, he lands under-rotated on that, landed just a little bit more than forwards. It's important that he was over the forward point, because otherwise the jump will be downgraded to double salchos. At best, they're going to get 70% of the value of that triple salcho there, and then the judges are going to do their work as well. So the grade of execution is going to go down. There on the back inside death spiral, you can see that was one of the shortest ones that we've seen. Not great, and the flying position into the camels and the synchronization out from the get-go on this. So all in all for these two, a big, sharp learning curve for them. All about experience, and you know that they're going to gain tremendous experience. Not just from competing, but the practice sessions, skating alongside the best in the world, really does help you up your game.
Alexandra, a Muscovite herself, so a thrill for her, I'm sure. Family and friends in the audience, but that's disappointing. They will slot into last place so far, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't end up last. So 10th of the 10 that we've had. Then we move into the higher ranked skaters after this. So in this group we have skaters from Belarus, BAZAROVA and Kamianchuk. From the USA, Amanda EVORA and LADWIG. From Canada, Kirsten Towers and Dylan MOSCOVITCH. And we have the British champions, 6 times British champions, Stacey Kemp and David King.
We just got a shot of them as we started, and they're looking pretty sharp in this warm-up. They'll be looking for a good skate here. You see them in the background. Smiles from Stacey, that's always good to see.
They'll be last to go. Best they've done at Worlds, 13th in the World Championships. A couple of years ago in LA, they were 16th in Jian last year. Got into the top 10 for the first time, or the second time actually, in the Europeans. Got into 8th place in Bern. Chris was there. How did you rate their performance?
Yeah, skated well. Still looking for a little bit more technically from them, but they're certainly looking much, much more polished, and there's a real air of confidence about them. So fingers crossed for tonight that they can put it all together in what is looking a competition of a very, very high standard. Particularly when you think of that performance from Tatiana and Maxim that leads at the moment.
One more reminder of our email address, skating.eurosport@yahoo.co.uk. We're live for quite a lot of this week, and we'll be happy to answer any of your queries and take up any points you want to raise. News today, something we saw shots earlier on of Evgeny Plushenko, former Olympic champion, beaten, he would say, rather controversially in the Olympics in Vancouver. But he has asked the Russian Federation to appeal against his ban, and they are doing that this week, and the ISU will get back to them. But there were shots of handshakes between Plushenko, the Russian Federation, and Ottavio Cinquanta, the president of the ISU. So I would think it's a possibility. He wants to skate in Sochi in the Olympics as a finale to his career.
What a finale that would be. That would be an amazing event, wouldn't it? And it certainly looked as though everybody was doing the appropriate thing.
Yeah, he was really doing the whole.
And why not?
There were a few scars, I think, after he was beaten in the final stages of the men's competition, and he felt that he deserved the gold, shall we put it like that. But he's trying to smooth over any of the scars that are left. It didn't look as if there were too many, to be honest, and I would think it's a very probable factor that he'll be back.
Well, I really hope so, because that would just put the cat amongst the pigeons with everything, wouldn't it? Oh, I've got to say, Patrick Chen does look unstoppable at the moment.
Yes, we're going to see the top 5 of the men's short program today in the next ice resurface, which will be after this group, and you'd want to watch that. So the warm-up over for this 4th of the 6 groups we have. Belarus will go first, then the Americans, then the Canadians, and then Stacey Kemp and David King from Great Britain. So it's the Russians who lead by a country mile at the moment, Volosozhar and Trankov. But now, for the most part, we pick up the standard. And here's Lyubov Bakirova and Nikolai Kamyanchuk, national champions in Belarus, 10th in the European Championships in Bern, 19th last year in the Worlds in Torino. Music from Prince Igor. Double twist. Double axels, but a little out of sync.
In fact, she's singled out on that. So a big error there on an element that doesn't have a great value. That's better. Triple Salchow.
What a stylish opening and a confident finish. As Chris was saying, some of the elements were perhaps lacking in difficulty, and it was a pity that she singled out on the double axel. Polished performance there from Bakirova and Kamianchuk. Not sure though that we're going to see them tomorrow.
No, it's going to be really tough for them, because not only did they have the problems with the elements, the difficulty not there with only a double that's on the twist lift, and the big mistake, as you rightly said, Simon, on the axle. So it's going to be mighty tough. But they're also going to lose out because of their skating skills are not great. Both of them, for me, could really, really work on getting into the ice more. And that will cost them when it comes to the marking of the step sequence, for example, where they're doing the power pulls and the 1 foot edge work, because they don't really have great knee bend and really get into the ice. The flow of the footwork wasn't there. So they will struggle on both sets of marks, I think. But again, a new team there, just the double twist. He kept her arms aloft, which is important. He seemed to catch her just in time. Important for the man to catch her before she hits the ground. There's the axel, just watch her, she's singled out there. Looked to me as though she didn't go for it. Just lost a bottle going into that, but no mistakes on the triple salcho. Good position in the air.
That was much better after what would have been a loss of confidence. I think you're right. That's why I didn't pick it. She didn't go for it because there was no shortening of the jump.
Yeah, but when somebody's throwing you, you can't really bottle out, can you? She's got to go for it really on the throw, and did a good job at the end of the day. Good dismount on this. You see, he keeps it with the one arm, just didn't quite stay with him there. Here's the back inside death spiral. Good position. She's got to get her head down a little bit more. Just could have got her head down a bit more than that, but on the whole, a lot to admire and a good effort.
Мама, привет, всем привет.
4 have qualified, so they've got to be in the top 5, really. There may be 1 or 2 who fail to qualify later on, but I don't think they're going to be anywhere near that, no. That's going to put them in around 7th place, something like that, I think. 8th place.
It's pretty much the lowest second score of the evening as well.
So 8th for Bakirova and Kamianchuk so far. Now from the USA, we have representatives in the final group with Jankauskas and Cochran. And here are the runners-up in American Nationals. Experienced pair they are too. 9th in the World Championships last year in Torino. Music Sing, Sing, Sing from Amanda EVORA and Mark LADWIG. Their 2nd World Championships. Taking their time. Dazzling start, split triple twist.
Ooh, that was very under-rotated there from Amanda, side-by-side triple toes.
Wonderful, throw triple loop. Excellent spins. And great to hear the Russians cheering the Americans as warmly as they are here. That was a performance that had attitude. Even before they started, Mark was giving it plenty, wasn't he, as he went to his ready position. Pity about the fall that she had on the triple toe, but apart from that, a lot of pizzazz.
Yeah, these two know how to perform, don't they? Good presentation, lovely speed across the ice from both of them throughout that program, but that fall is going to hurt them. You get a 1 point deduction for the fall, and I'm pretty sure that she was very under-rotated, so likely to get downgraded to double toes.
The key thing for them, obviously, is to get into the free program. They should tomorrow night. The leaders, Volosozhar and Trankov, they're safe. They're going to be safe for a while. The question is, where do they slot these two in? Third, fourth, something like that?
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Second, the Canadians, DUHAMEL and RADFORD, 58-83. Third, Zhang and Wang. Perhaps somewhere between second and third.
We're going to be up there somewhere. Let's look at this. She's certainly forwards on that triple toe. You can see that. We're just going to see it in slow motion here. Is she further? I think that's going to get downgraded. And that will hurt them. So instead of getting the tariff of a triple toe loop, you get the tariff of a double toe.
In fact, you can suffer more for under-rotating than
rotation. Yeah, rotation's key. It's absolutely paramount. And together with the grade of execution that the judges are going to give it, which won't be good because of the fall and the 1 point for the fall, that one element is very, very costly indeed. There you see the change of hands on the back inside death spiral, getting the levels up there, not opting for a fly into the spin, but getting the timing really, really good on the side-by-side spins, not easy. And really, really good entry and exit on the lift, the final element of the program. And she was holding the scale as well, so doing all the right things to get the levels up on all the other elements. But have they done enough?
Thank you, Moscow.
He had a nasty accident with his skating boot, broke during the Four Continents Championship, and only was able to finish the performance when a Canadian, Rudy Swagers, lent him his boot.
I'll tell you what, that's not easy, skating somebody else's skates, because they become part of your feet almost.
Not many your size either.
I'd struggle, yeah.
54-64, so he is in third place, is Mark with Amanda. So third place for them, Canadians second, it's the Russians who lead.
54-64, and this is their new season's best. They're currently in third place.
So now the Canadians, the Canadian number ones who won nationals. Remember, it's the Canadians who lead at the moment. Well, second place rather, DUHAMEL and RADFORD. This is Kirsten Moore-Towers, 18 years of age, and Dylan MOSCOVITCH, 26. They train in Ontario, fifth in the Four Continents, their first World Championships together. Trained by Chris and Kirsty Wirtz. The music, Zorba's Dance. Wow, what a blur, that triple twist.
Fantastic speed on the rotation. Just looked as though she was slightly short. Did well there, off axis on the triple toes, but hung on.
A good landing too on the throw loop. Long time to get back together, and they're out of sync again. Pity about the ending, because there was much to enjoy about that program, and this has been a terrific evening for Canada. DUHAMEL and RADFORD in second place, but I wonder if they're going to be second for much longer. Very confident. Kirsten, Moore Towers, Dylan, MOSCOVITCH.
I was just thinking as I watched that, there were essences of Christy and Chris out there, weren't there? You can see the resemblance. Magnificent to watch. Boy, oh boy, does she have fast rotation. They don't get the height that some of the others have got that we've seen so far, but they make up for it in the speed of the rotation. Really, really pleased with the performance. You can see that there. And all you can do when you go out there is leave it out on the ice, and they did just that.
There is Chris Wirtz, who of course competed with his sister.
I thought the rotation might have been short on that twist, but I think they're okay. The lunge going into that axle lasso lift. And it just stops the rotation for a minute. That's the triple loop. She did well. You can see it wasn't a lot of elevation, but goodness did she rotate fast. And there, completely out of sync on the spin, and actually he had a horrible entry into that flying camel. His weight was too far forwards and didn't get the speed on the rotation, and from there on in there was really nothing you could do to get it back. I think in all honesty they tend to rotate a little bit too fast in the side-by-side spins to be able to keep any synchronization going.
It was very fast.
Well, doesn't seem to be any nerves there, does it?
Nope, still hamming it up.
Miss you guys, love you.
So, where they're going to be,
Practice skating. This is for Alex.
they definitely are going to be there for tomorrow night.
From Kirsten, more towers.
DUHAMEL and RADFORD in second place with 58.83. How far away are these two going to be from that score? The leaders, Volosozhar and Trankov, with just over 70. It's third place. They're having to take that. Not too happy about those. But the other Canadians were good. I have to say, my own preference was for these two, but that's the way it goes. There wasn't much between them, and they've got plenty of chances to get that right tomorrow evening. Right, for those back home in the UK, this is the moment. Big week, of course, in the UK, and let's hope we can start things off here. The six-time British champions. Best they've done is 13th in the Worlds a couple of years ago in LA. Here are Stacey Kemp and David King. A tribute to Coldplay. twist.
I think they just about made the rotation there. That was the Lutz, so her left foot should have been on the outside edge, and that looked a little suspect too. Just double flips. No problems with them, but not the highest tariff by any stretch of the imagination for that.
She lands a triple trove. Their 6th World Championships, and they certainly are looking more and more assured. Not the technical difficulty that we've seen from 3 or 4 couples that are surely going to be in front of them. But no real major flaws. They were out of sync a little bit in the side-by-side spins. And the key thing was that the lack of difficulty in the opening jump.
Yeah, it always amazes me that she can dig herself out of a hole on the throw like she did there, because they almost overcooked it. She really ground that one out, went down in the knee and had the wherewithal to do that, but we still haven't seen her do the double axel or a triple jump in competition, and it's such a shame because they just can't progress any further without it.
So the key thing for them is to try and make it through to the free program tomorrow night. They should do. 8 still to come. So if they get into the top 8, they're guaranteed a place in the free tomorrow. It'll be a major disappointment for them if they don't make it.
Yeah, it was really, really close on the rotation, and I would definitely have a question mark on the edge going into that Lutz twist. Timing a little bit off on the side-by-side double flips, but just watch how she really works hard here, down in that right knee, and really makes it count. And to have the wherewithal to do that after you've been thrown in the air at that sort of speed is very commendable. You can see they're completely out of sync on the spins and just lacked a little bit of drive through this step sequence. Love to have seen them get down in the knees a little bit more and present the last part of the program. He's a strong guy, good on the lift, kept the speed going well as he had grabbed the foot there to get a level up. It's the one arm lift as well. Could have done something a little more with the left arm. And a sigh of relief by everybody on the side.
Hey, March daughter.
So 44-14. It's not going to be good enough. It's going to be 9th place, and they are going to struggle to make it through into the top 16. It just might happen, but it's looking unlikely. That's not good news, I'm afraid, for Stacey and David. that may be all we see of them in these championships. Yeah, perhaps the favourites, unbeaten this year, Leona Savchenko and Robin Zolkowy from Germany, twice world champions already, getting ready.
Cool, we'll try that in a minute, Simon.
It's exhausting just watching. It's quite taking my breath away. Anyway, that's what they have to beat. 70.35 from Volosozhar and Trankov. DUHAMEL and Radford in second for Canada. More Towers and MOSCOVITCH in third for Canada. And those 8 have definitely qualified. It's unlikely that any of the others will. Welcome back. We've had some opening day to our coverage of these rescheduled ISU World Figure Skating Championships. An event that we didn't think we'd see taking place, but it certainly started off with a bang. She loves the applause, does Tatiana Tarasova, and she's getting plenty here. These, of course, not the only World Championships going on at the moment. Back home in Sheffield, it is quarterfinals, the end of the quarterfinals. And we have a fantastic match which is following this program. In about an hour's time, we'll be picking up the match between John Higgins there, best player in the world at the moment, against the biggest name in the sport, Ronnie O'Sullivan. So that match live after this. But this is the penultimate group in the pair short. I hope you snooker fans will bear with us. And we'll be with you in Sheffield in under an hour. So to start off, we have Russians here, Vera BAZAROVA and Yuri LARIONOV. Then it's the Italians, Stefania, BERTON and Ondrej HOTAREK. Then the Germans, Maylin HAUSCH and Daniel WENDE. And finally, the joint favourites really, Qing and Tong Jian for China. There they are. Remember, it's Russians who lead at the moment, Tatiana Volosozhar and Maxim Trankov, and they will take some unseating. 70.35 is a really good score. Bin Yao watching for his couple there. They handled the pressure so well in the past. Gold medalists back in 06 in Calgary, and last year in Turin. Old stages now, 31 years of age, but still right at the peak of their powers.
Yeah, they look pretty solid on this warm-up.
BAZAROVA and LARIONOV first to go from Russia, and we have more Russians last to go in the final group. Yuko Kawaguchi and Alexander Smirnov, they're going to be there or thereabouts. But it'll be new for Pang and Tong going into World Championships without Chinese opposition.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. See the Russians looking for a good result, and at the moment everything going their way. So we'll see how it pans out over these final 2 groups. Closing stages of the warm-up now, and not much action going on out there.
But it's interesting that the Russians used to dominate pair skating, and then over the last few years it's been largely either the Germans with Savchenko or Zolkowy, or Chinese, year after year after year, couple after couple.
Yeah, the work that Bin Yao and his team have done back home in China, they've really redefined the sport, taking it to a completely different level, and they've dragged everybody kicking and screaming with them. The level of pairs has just shot through the roof. It's good to see.
Talking of the Chinese, we've got an email in from Gao Fang thanking us for our coverage, and hoping that Pang and Tong win their third world title here in Moscow. It could well happen. One-two from Sean State, who's introducing his 4-year-old niece to figure skating. Went for a first skate with Dad last week, so the timing of the championships couldn't be better.
Perfect. Really hope you're enjoying our coverage here. It's sure to be a fantastic week here in Moscow.
So it will be the Russians to go first, then the Italians, then the Germans, and finally Pang and Tong. They're not in the final group, but they could well end up the evening top of the pile. Listen to this. Third place in Russian nationals, third place in the European Championships in Bern. 18-year-old Vera BAZAROVA and 24-year-old Yuri LARIONOV. Adagio for the Russians. Triple toes, did he triple?
I think he did. The timing was a little bit out, to say the least, on those jumps, but we'll have to look at that again.
Beautiful. Triple twist. They are a captivating sight on the ice, these two. Beautifully landed that throw triple toe loop. Just loved it. 8th in the World Championships last year. Doesn't she have a presence? She reminds me of going back years and years ago, Katerina Gordeeva. Has a special quality, and he did well to show her off. Wasn't flawless, but it was very good.
Yes, I'm with you. The presence that these two have on the ice is almost second to none. She really is something to behold out there. So light on her feet, and there's a real air of confidence when she's out there, taking it in her stride. But they certainly seem pleased with the performance, and that's always good to see, a good sign. You'd imagine magnificent support for them. And that can work for you or against you. And in this case, these two held it together very, very well indeed. Pictures of Plushenko all around the arena, but he's not skating this year.
They're making a point, aren't
They are, yeah. They certainly are.
Are you watching ISU?
I wonder if he was watching Patrick Chan's performance earlier on today.
Yes, might make him think again.
Have second thoughts. So let's just focus on these slow motion shots, and they're going to be absolutely gorgeous. Look at the entry there into the twist, textbook position in the air, and see how early he catches her and puts her down. That's absolutely the way to do it.
So they're going to be in the top two. I'd have them second. And you?
Difficult one to call. Let's have a look at these toe loops. Yeah, he did triple it. How he hung on to that. That took some real courage. So good in the lifts. He stopped the rotation here. Through the change. Very difficult to do and maintain control and speed throughout that. But he's such a strong guy. And look at that for synchronization. See him working all the time. Up into the upright position, just adjusting the rotation there. Very finely, brilliantly executed.
And they made it look easy.
Yeah, they really did. It was a joy to watch, wasn't it?
It was.
It's going to be a Russian 1-2 at this stage.
It sure is. China are going to feature in there in some fashion, but where? Coach Ludmila Kalinina. Oh, 64-64. Way off first place. Second place it is. I'm surprised they're not closer, but it is Volosozhar and Trankov who lead. BAZAROVA and LARIONOV in second.
64 and 64. This is the second place.
Now we go to the Italians, who had a terrific European Championships in Bern, finished in 5th place, 11th in the worlds. 20-year-old Stefania BERTON and 27-year-old Ondrej HOTAREK, originally from the Czech Republic, but now skating with Stefania in Italy. Trained in Oberstdorf in Germany to BERTON and HOTAREK. Music from Astor Piazzolla. To start. A double twist. triple loop at the end, and it was laid on to put it in, and it worked well. No disasters there. Wasn't so enjoyable as 2 or 3 other performances that we've seen, but technically I would think it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all. They're going to suffer because they only did the double lutz as opposed to the triple. But apart from that, they skated very, very well indeed. And I tell you, these two had an amazing European Championships. They came out, I think they finished in 5th place, something like that. And I was expecting them here, perhaps not to be able to hold it together, because they sort of skated out of the box at the Europeans. But they've come out here, all guns blazing, held it together again, and they've nailed another good performance. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it.
They're not going to get near Volosozhar and Trankov, but they could be close to a podium position as it stands. Still plenty of big guns to come.
Yeah, I think they're, you know, even if they can get up around 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th at the end of the day, something like that, it'd be an amazing achievement for these two.
They only competed in one World Championships before. That was last year in Jian, where they finished 11th.
Yeah, the next step is to knock on the door of 5th place, and you know, they're really doing the right thing. Franca Bianconi there, a colleague of ours on Italian Eurosport, who coaches them, and she's done a great job with them. Doing everything they possibly can to maximize on the levels on every element. There, one hand, she's holding the skate, that's getting the levels up. Here's those side-by-side triple toe loops at the beginning of the program, and we've not really seen anything any better than that as far as the timing of the synchronization of those toe loops goes. Not the quality in the skating, not the quality in the choreography yet, but it's great to see an Italian pair team come out and skate at this kind of level. And this shows real confidence, doesn't it? Triple loop right at the end of the program. Dig deep for that one. Working with the synchronization through the side-by-side spin, which they did as well as anybody. Look at that, even under the scrutiny of the super slow-mo.
Yes, their synchronization really does stand up to the closest examination.
Yeah, they don't have the flair, but what they did really, really well.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the judges have slotted them in 4th place.
That's good, that's good.
Just behind the Canadians, 58.83 the Canadians, so just over a mark behind. But they're there or thereabouts, and you can see their expressions. You know, they're not faking it. They are genuinely proud of those marks and the performance.
Yeah, they're shaking it up, no doubt about it.
Here's another couple here with a top 10 place. That's the limit of their horizons, but we shall see. 14th in the World Championships last year in Turin. 15th the year before in LA, but did really well in Bern in the Europeans. Went up to 6th place. This is Maylin HOUSCH and Daniel WENDE from Germany, with a soundtrack from Moulin Rouge. Good, clean triple toe loops to start.
They're really motoring down into those. Lots of speed.
Oh, just about got her.
It was only a double too.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Well, that was a thread triple flip, and she was all over the place in the air.
It was a bit of a crushing fall, so she'll be doing well to get back in the program here. Well, it was full on. It wasn't perfect, and full marks for her for giving it everything, because that must have hurt when she fell on that flip. Maylin, HOUSCH, Daniel Wende from Germany. They're going to suffer, aren't they? Double on the split twist, but particularly for the throw jump.
Yes, it's a point deduction for the fall, and then the grade of execution is not going to be good either. But all credit to both of them. They came back strong at the end of the program. They started off well, had that little glitch and put it right behind them. And it'll be interesting to see it again. I wasn't sure actually whether the mistake was his. It was almost as if he held on to her for too long and she couldn't get into the rotational position, because she was all over the place in the air and it would have felt absolutely horrible. But hey, done it hundreds of times in practice, they know. And just not good enough. Loved the program, the choreography, transitions throughout the program I thought were very, very good. Really used the music well, synchronization on the spins good. Here's those side-by-side triple toes, and they were absolutely motoring down the rink into those. Here's the twist. Now watch, he only just gets it, didn't get a lot of elevation on that. Obviously an element that they don't like, and there's the flip. Yeah, she seemed to let the left side go way too much and couldn't get control of that back. You see she lands with the left arm back, and there's nothing left then to stop the rotation with the free leg going back as well.
But she did well actually to prevent the body crashing down. The hands did the job, so it wasn't as crushing a fall as I suspected. Nevertheless, mentally it will have hurt, and she did well, so did he.
A good lesson for any skaters, young skaters watching this, that it's so important. If you make a mistake, just get up. There's still more elements to do. Put that behind you. Worry about it when the program's finished. And that's exactly what these two did. They didn't let it. They didn't dwell on it and carry it through the routine. Now she can thump him on the chest.
More emails coming in. Email address skating.eurosport@yahoo.co.uk. One more I can send that to you from Margaret. Says she loved the Russian pair, surprised as I was there was such a difference in the score. You mentioned the coverage was increasing, Simon. Is there a chance we'll see more of the men's free tomorrow? Depends on the snooker. We're doing all we can, and we hope we will be able to give you more than scheduled, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, last to go in this group, and they are comfortably the leaders. There's the French watching on, wishing they had this kind of pedigree. Twice the world champions in 2006 and again last year. Perhaps joint favourites to retain their title. Pangqing, Tong, Jian. Fine, perfectly clean triple toe loops. Just look at the hand movements. Split lateral twist, perfection. She can do it in her sleep. Throw triple loop. just mesmerizing. And super that the Russians can applaud it. They're Russian fans, but above all, they're skating fans, and they know exactly what they've seen there. Another very special performance from Pang and Tong. And surely the new leaders.
Without a doubt. That was something very, very special indeed. Tell you what, I've got shivers up my back. It was just mesmerizing. Couldn't take my eyes off them. And I tell you, Simon, the way their program was put together, the three big elements at the beginning, that can sometimes be a sign of a lack of confidence, or that things may be a little rocky, but not with these two. When you're that good, it doesn't matter that the World Championships has just been moved back 4 weeks.
No. What a year it's been for them, apart from the usual things. We saw them in the Asian Games.
Yes. And they didn't skate like this there.
No, the competition wasn't quite as fierce.
Look at these toe loops, just exquisite.
I wonder if they can relax a little bit more because their Russian compatriots aren't around, taken a little bit of the limelight away. But with the Germans to come, and the Germans will go next at the start of the next group. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I can't see anywhere there throughout that program where the judges can take any points away. Look at this loop. Textbook in the air, running edge coming out of it. Perfect. We've seen so many skaters have to lean forward, dig deep in the knee bend to get a perfect landing, but she's so over her skate. Death spiral, perfect. And the emotion and poise there for all to see right the way through that program. Loved it.
They've been skating now for a quarter of a century. They started at the age of 6. Yao on the right there, who's been integral in their elevation to World Championship status. Is it going to be a three-timer? Well, 74 is very, very good. It's left the door open a little bit for the Germans. It's not their personal best, that's 75, which they got in the World Championships last year, but it's plenty good enough, and they lead by 3.5 marks from Volosozhar and Trankov. Not a personal best, but as good as anything we've seen from them. Glorious from Pang and Tong. And finally, Volosozhar and Trankov's lead has gone, but they are going to be in the shake-up, that's for sure. 4 couples still to go, but they're not going to be far away.